Around Anfield, and what a strange feeling for Michael Owen, who will emerge from that dressing room, probably a dressing room he's never ever been in his whole life. And there he is, penny for his thoughts. I wonder if he's going to touch that "This is Anfield" sign out of force of habit on his way out onto the pitch. I know Graham Souness still does it. I don't think he did. I think he means business. He scored 77 goals at Anfield in his time here. Will the 78th be for Newcastle United?
Big day for him today, but I think he's got to make sure that emotion he'll no doubt be feeling here back on his return Anfield in full of those wonderful Liverpool fans. We know what wonderful goal scoring form he's in at the moment.
He looks pensive, Michael Owen, and maybe we could just be imagining it, a little more tense than usual.
I think so. I think it'll be very strange for him at the moment. You know, he's had so much success at this ground, so many wonderful memories. Just wonder whether today might be another wonderful memory, or will it be a huge disappointment?
How will those fans respond to Michael Owen today? The ones I spoke to said he'll get a great reception. 16 months on from his departure, Owen returns, the return of the prodigal son. Let's check these sides for you. Liverpool have had a week to get over the jet lag and feelings of grievance over 3 disallowed goals in the Club World Championship final in Japan, and they are forced into one change with Momo Sissoko suspended. Luis Garcia comes in on the right with Steven Gerrard switched to his more preferred role in central midfield.
Well, this side have built up a great belief in their defensive capabilities, Ian. 12 clean sheets out of 50 in the league is a fantastic achievement. That will certainly be tested today, though. Owen and Shearer developing a formidable partnership, so the two centre-backs in particular will need to maintain their consistency. But I agree with George. I think it's that midfield four where Liverpool looks so strong. You know, the power and leadership qualities of Steven Gerrard, the elegance of Alonso are so important to their success this season. And just recently in the league, they seem to have found some confidence in the final third.
Well, Michael Owen's return aside, the Newcastle team is a surprise with 5 changes to a winning team. Taylor, Babayaro and Nzogbia are all back after injury. Bowyer is recalled. Luque gets another chance to impress. Scott Parker is suspended for this one, but Solano, Bramble, Amiobi and Elliott are all left out today.
Well, I said the other week, Ian, when Newcastle beat Arsenal, I felt it could be a defining moment in their season. You know, they've gone on to beat West Ham, but Graham has made a lot of changes. It'll be interesting to see whether it disrupts the rhythm and the flow of this side. But I think it's a suspended Scott Parker who will be a massissive miss today, especially against the side who have such outstanding midfield players that I've already talked about. So I think Bowyer, Faye and Nzogbia and Luque are going to have to show a huge appetite for work to protect that back four. But this side now have a belief, a real belief they can score. In the main, it's been left to Alan Shearer over the last few seasons to get goals, but now the signing of Michael Owen is certainly proving to be a masterstroke.
So many angles on this match, they could almost make a Hollywood movie about it. Alan Shearer needs one more goal, as you've been hearing, to equal War Jackie Malbon's Newcastle club record of 200. History beckoning. Graham Souness, of course, back on his old stamping ground. He's never won at Anfield as a manager. He did it plenty of times as a player, as you'll know. Liverpool to get us underway here, looking to make it 8 successive wins in the Premiership. But as we kick off here, they are currently 18 points now behind the leaders Chelsea, but with 3 games in hand. Early touch for Alonso to Gerrard, back in central midfield today with the injury to Sissoko, who should be back for the Merseyside derby on Wednesday. Here's Morientes, who's been in better goal-scoring form of late, including 2 against Middlesbrough. Michael Owen, by the way, today will be marked by the man who was his roommate for 8 years during his time at Anfield, Jamie Carragher. He won't be having too many conversations today, but there've been 1 or 2 on the phone, I should think, in the build-up to this one. Luque, still trying to adjust to English football. He's had a long-term injury problem, just back from that, a torn hamstring. Luis Garcia back in the Premiership starting lineup and doing some useful work, but it did go behind.
Well, I think this Liverpool side will want to start quickly. They know that at times Newcastle have looked very fragile defensively, and the fact that Graham Souness has made changes at the back. Celestine Barriaro coming at left back for Robbie Elliott. Young Steven Taylor coming in ahead of Titus Bramble. So if there are early nerves and the fact that these 4 haven't played together, then it's important to test that. And the fact that Liverpool have looked better in recent home games in the final third. They have got goals.
For Boomsong over on that far side.
A very late reaction, wasn't it, from Boomsong? Very honest tussle between him and Peter Crouch from the throw-in, and Crouch is backing in, as you would expect any striker. A slight wave of the left arm, not enough to convince. Penalty, there was a free kick to Newcastle.
Defence today. He's been out with a dislocated shoulder. Morientes on here to Harry Kewell. Set up quite well as well for him.
Yeah, it set up beautifully for him, didn't it? And to be fair to Harry Kewell, he's looked something like back to his best form. Does very well there, Morientes. Ramage certainly gets caught in no man's land. He has to go and try and attack the ball. It allows some room for Harry Kewell on his favoured left foot.
Kewell hasn't scored at Anfield for nearly 2 years in the Premiership. Garcia's head on, away by Taylor. How much of a threat, I wonder, can Shearer and Owen produce against this miserly, Scrooge-like, I guess is the festive phrase, Liverpool defence?
In many respects, I think Graham's picked an ambitious formation. I mean, a lot of people might have expected him to come here and have 2 banks of 4 and look to try and defend and work hard, but instead there's a lot of attacking players, especially in that midfield 4. Luque will look to get forward on that left hand side. Bowyer, more marks of getting forward.
Carragher forward, here's Kewell. Gerrard, now Risa. Decent ball in from Risa. Boomsong gets some elevation on his clearance. This is Luis Garcia trying to work something with Morientes on this side. Good work, Fernando Morientes. Solo run from him, spectacular stuff, and Newcastle very glad to get that behind.
Well, I have to say, once again, that fragile defending has come to the fore there. I'm not sure what Boomsong is doing there. He certainly gets the wrong side of Morientes. Wasn't convincing defending from young Steven Taylor neither, so as a partnership, they haven't looked comfortable, the 2 centre-backs.
Finnan. Xabi Alonso towards Crouch, who wins it in the air. Kewell, what a save from Shay Given. Morientes' effort was blocked after that, but a wonderful, wonderful save from Given. But it might be more, because here's Gerrard. and Morientes could not apply a touch to that as it fizzed across goal. But what a save!
Well, we've just seen two reasons why Newcastle haven't conceded more goals this season, and it's about the form and the ability of this man, Shay Given. Absolutely magnificent save. That is purely reactionary on the goalkeeper's part. He has no right to save that. He does, and they're very fortunate, and they've had to rely on that man so early in the game.
That was nothing short of fantastic from Shay Given.
Well, I remember one the other week from Thierry Henry, which was equally as good. But he seems to keep producing those week after week, Shay Given.
Owen with his first involvement. So strange for the Liverpool fans to see him wearing black and white stripes. He's got a great record though when he's been in the Newcastle side this season. Michael Owen, they've won 6, drawn 1 and lost 1. Tremendous record. He really has made a difference since his £17 million signing. Of course, that was £9 million more than Liverpool sold him for.
This game has a great history of producing goals. It could quite easily have had 2 already. Great save from Given initially at the feet of Morientes, and then another fantastic save we've just seen from Harry Kewell.
Crouch. Andy Fine looking to break it up. 1 or 2 stories linking him with a move back to his old club Portsmouth recently, but he's been in better form for Newcastle of late, foraging away but crowded out by the red shirts. Little tangle with Steven Gerrard with Fine.
I actually think Fine's a little bit unfortunate there. I mean, he worked so hard just to try and maintain possession, but when you see Steven Gerrard just coming across him there, and the referee gives a free kick against Andy Fine, very unfortunate. You can understand why Graham Souness was out of the dugout very quickly, having to go at the referee, Mark Alty. He felt his side should have had a free kick. I have every sympathy with him.
Crouch to Morientes, to Gerrard. Morientes nearly picked it up again. Newcastle really having to work hard here. Liverpool really believing themselves more of late, you feel, on this big winning run.
A lot of people felt that Liverpool might just be feeling the effects of that long journey to Japan.
Luque, lovely ball towards Shearer, and Reina had read that and cut it out. Now Owen. Reese's arm was pretty high as he blocked him off.
Fabulous ball, wasn't it, from Luque? Alan Shearer just peeling away towards the far post. Great anticipation, good starting position from the goalkeeper, because Alan Shearer was certainly in there, pulled away from Jean-Arnaud Rees. The keeper's come an awful long way. Certainly surprised Alan.
First threat coming up from Newcastle. With 8 minutes coming up to it anyway on the clock. Boomsong's in there, Shearer's in there as well. And of course, Michael Owen. Playing towards him, but Carragher makes sure it never got to the predatory former Liverpool man. Ramage. By the way, in the match programme today, Peter Ramage, the right back of Newcastle United, nice misprint, Peter Rampage.
He's done very well, hasn't he? I mean, Graham was praising him in the local papers over the last few days. He's been one of the plus points. Youngster coming into the side, difficult circumstances, but showing good consistency with his performances. And he's deserved to keep his place at right back.
He started the last 10 games as Ramage. This is Fapia. Risa. This is Luque. Only his 4th start, by the way, for Newcastle. Albert Luque, expensive signing from Deportivo. They haven't seen the best of him yet up on Tyneside. 2 stories, in fact, linking him with a return to Spain. Liverpool's free kick, Bowyer's challenge penalised.
They work very hard at the moment, Newcastle. Liverpool have started very brightly, trying to get at Newcastle, but the referee Well, the ball was moving from Steven Gerrard as he tried to play that long diagonal out to Garcia.
Yeah, he was moving. He was about 20 yards behind where the offence took place as well. Here's Morientes out to Finnan, who looked for a bit of support over there. Onto his left foot, here comes the cross. Luque towards Owen, but Reeson will just watch that go out. Liverpool have travelled 12,000 miles since they last played in the Premiership, but they have had a week of recovery time. But I've done that journey, and it didn't half take it out of you.
You didn't have to play when you got back, neither.
Exactly. Or when I got there, by the way, Brian. Ramage. Reina, one of 4 Spanish internationals in the Liverpool starting lineup today, and somewhere in the crowd is the Real Madrid striker Raul, watching a lot of his Spanish teammates, and of course his old Real Madrid teammate Michael Owen.
A bad injury at the moment, a lot of doubts whether he will make the World Cup for Spain this summer.
He rang up yesterday and asked for 4 tickets. They didn't say no. Here's Alonso. Finnan. Up towards Crouch.
It's always going to be an obvious ball, isn't it, towards the far post. Peter Crouch's dominance. What fabulous saves from Shay Given. And they owe him an awful lot, don't they? Shay Given. Newcastle United. There's talk about whether he will leave the football club. That's just pure reactionary, great instinct.
There wouldn't be any shortage of takers, would there, if he became available? Shearer playing it forward. Here's Carragher. Liverpool, by the way, haven't conceded a goal in the Premiership since October the 22nd, when Luis Boa-Morte scored against them for Fulham. That's over 2 months ago. Rapier with the header. Keane trying to find some space. And Gerrard and Thigh again mixing there. That might be one of the ongoing stories here.
He's expected to be competitive with these two. I mean, that's just the nature of the way they play. I think that Andy Thigh was probably a little bit disgruntled. He didn't get a free kick earlier. The referee just having a quiet word, just trying to calm them down. Maybe, just maybe next time. Not be lenient, just giving them a warning.
This is Xabi Alonso. Now Luis Garcia. Finnan's made an overlapping run down that side. Crouch. Gerrard here. Steven Gerrard! Oh, tremendous goal by the Liverpool skipper.
Well, as good as the Newcastle goalkeeper is, he's got no chance of stopping this. Great play from Liverpool. Very much Peter Crouch involved again, as he has been for this opening period, and that's what worried me a little bit about the strength and depth Newcastle might just have on the left-hand side. I think it's a little bit comfortable, that ball that comes in from Garcia to the feet of Peter Crouch. It's a great little knockdown, just got the right sort of pace to kill the ball into the path of Steven Gerrard, and when he gets into situations like that, he's got a great goal-scoring record. That's 13 for the season, which is a phenomenal effort for a midfield player. He might not have shown too much emotion, the manager, but he knows that that's a big goal, important goal, because it sets his side up.
Not a trace of emotion from Rafa Benitez again, but Liverpool march on. And Steven Gerrard scores for the 13th time this season. Only 4 of those, by the way, have been in the Premiership. Tremendous finish. And nice layoff too by Peter Crouch to set it all up. Now then, Boya.
Well, there's a lot of changes that Graham made to the side. I did worry a little bit, certainly on that left-hand side, how good they would be defensively, Luque and Babiaro.
Morientes up towards Crouch. And Babiaro is over there Crouch is penalised, but Newcastle looking a little bit stretched here. They are missing Scott Parker. That's a big miss for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they are, and I think he's been in such fantastic form for Newcastle. Great endeavour, great ability to close people down and just give that back four a little bit of a shield, and that's what Graham wanted today. He wanted to make sure that the back four and goalkeeper got protected, but you'd have to say quarter of an hour gone. Liverpool have had 3 or 4 excellent opportunities, and of course it's a fabulous strike that's beat Shay Given. He knew that it would take something special.
In the side today after breaking his hand recently. He's missed the last 3 before this. Being deployed in central midfield, though, usually plays wide. Ramage to Shearer. Now Bowyer. Owen waiting in the middle in a good area. Just not pulled back enough.
It might just have taken a deflection, you know, off the leg of John Arnorisa. If that hadn't taken a deflection, then they really could have been in a lot of trouble there. Because Michael Owen once again took up a predatory position. Very, very open, this football match at the moment, Ian.
Morientes. Newcastle, if they want to get anything out of this game, have got to do something that no Premiership team has done since late October: score against Liverpool. This is Fai. Zogbia. Looking for movement ahead of him. Here's Owen now. 1 or 2 boos for him, and Bowyer is offside.
Well, I think he's guilty of not looking across the line, Lee Bowyer, because it's a fabulous little chip by Michael Owen, and certainly Lee Bowyer can see right across the line. He just strays marginally offside, and that's all it is. It's a fine, fine margin, and that really is the difference between the two sides. Liverpool seem to be getting it right defensively. They're very much in tune with each other, the back four. Newcastle, I have to say, have looked 6s and 7s during the course of this season, and that's a big area that Graham needs to identify and put right.
Away by Babayaro, another one returning to the side today after an injury layoff. Herpia. Gerrard. Good ball there to find Luis Garcia. Maybe just enough pace on it. Bowyer was tracking back.
That's important. That's what Bowyer can offer them on this right-hand side. I've talked already. I think the problem might just be over the other side of the park. I'm not convinced Babayaro is going to get much support defensively from Luque.
Gerrard, what a ball towards Luis Garcia. Well, it was you have to change that to what an attempted ball.
Well, how many times have we seen this happen? That long diagonal ball. There's very, very few players around anywhere in the world who can produce quality over that distance. And while that might have just eluded Luis Garcia, we've seen it time and time again from Steven Gerrard. Has that ability just to open up the play, and I think if Garcia maintains his width and gets support from Finnan, Liverpool are going to get more joy.
Boomsole. Carragher cutting it up, picked up by Bowyer. One or 2 stories saying that he might be going back to one of his old clubs, Charlton Athletic, in January. That's a story that doesn't seem to go away either, so we'll see what develops. A lot of speculation, of course, at this time of year, with the transfer window about to open in a few days' time. Bowyer's free kick. It was missed by Xabi Alonso, headed back in by Fai. Good feet from Luis Garcia, getting him out of trouble. Risa with room to move into. Luis Garcia. Plenty of work for Morientes to do, a bit too much as it turned out. Fuel. Lucky bounce in his favour. Beautiful piece of trickery after that to get rid of Ramage. Here's the cross at the end of it, all towards Crouch. Bouncing around dangerously. Newcastle again have to hack it clear. They've been on the rack once or twice early on here.
Well, look, it's only 1-0. Great play from Harry Kewell there. Peter Ramage maybe shows a little bit of naivety in the way that he dived in there. Just the very fact that Harry Kewell's body language these days seems to be that he's gone over that groin injury that seemed to be troubling him for long periods of his time here at Liverpool.
Luque looking to pick up the speedier Charles Nzogbia. Newcastle very much on the back foot. Having said that, most teams who've been coming here of late have been on the back foot.
Chelsea's victory, the fact that 18 points behind the leaders now, Liverpool, with a couple of games in hand. Certainly interesting to see whether they can close that gap. It'll be tough for anybody, never mind just Liverpool.
Okay, good go out of play over on that far side. Came back into the side, Luque, then they left him out again. Maybe there was just a feeling that he hadn't quite regained sharpness after the long break with the torn hamstring, but another chance for him here. Tough stage though.
Yeah, very much so. I always think it's very, very difficult for foreign players to make their mark in their first season. I think you need to give them time to adjust to the pace of the English Premier League. Not just about games, it's about training as well. There's such an intensity. So what a fabulous goal that he scored. It separates the two sides. How many times has he come up with the goods? You know, great first touch, but it's an unerring finish, and it's one that the goalkeeper can do absolutely nothing about, and he's quick to congratulate Peter Crouch, because Crouch's touch into the path of his skipper was absolutely exquisite.
Still a bit to do though, wasn't there? And Gerrard did it with some aplomb. Shearer back to Ramage. Bowyer, decent idea. And that goalkeeper, Pepe Reina, has let in one goal in what is now over 17 hours of football, and that was scored by Mineiro of Sao Paulo at the Club World Championship final. Taylor's let that get in behind him here, but the flag was up for offside when the ball was originally played. Bowyer's picked up an injury. The whistle had already gone. He's an impish grin on the face.
Really renowned for his tackling back, is he, Harry Kewell? So Bowyer gives that sort of industrious performance, don't they? No matter where he plays. A little bit surprised that he didn't find himself more as a central midfield player today, rather than playing on this right-hand side.
Ramage, Luque. Good position for him. Owen comes near post, and it was played towards the back post, and Risa from underneath his own bar saved Liverpool from conceding.
Oh, what an important header. I'm not sure what Steve Finnan's doing there. He steps up, and one or two just stay in. It's a fabulous ball to Luque, because he just sticks that towards the far post, thinking and hoping somebody might just come in, but John Risa does a fantastic job ahead of Lee Bowyer, because that had an equaliser written all over it.
A couple of times Newcastle have suggested something. Here they have a corner. Again it's Luque, and Reina had to stretch just for a moment there. The keeper looked a little unsure of his bearings.
I just think in Newcastle side maybe 2 months ago would have conceded more, and certainly wouldn't have looked to have created the chances that they've done so far. It's an important, it's comfortable little tip over from Reina. The fact that they've won 5 of the last 8 league games, Newcastle United. They've got a little bit of belief about them these days.
And they scored 4 away from home, of course, in their last game at West Ham. They will feel they've got a goal or two in them, maybe even here. Luque. The ball went out of play on its journey there. Coming up on Sky Sports, As ever, we've got lots of action for you, and at 5:15 the bumper Boxing Day offerings continue with Aston Villa against Everton. That's a 5:15 kickoff on Sky Sports 1. Ramage. Because the great thing for Newcastle is, although they're behind, and they might have been behind by more than one, with Shearer and Owen around, Graham Souness and his team there will know that if there is a chance, they've got a couple of guys who are likely to stick it in.
Very much so, and I think Graham won't be that disappointed. I mean, his side have weathered a little bit of a storm. He's still got a goal to pull back, of course, but he knows that his team now, if they can defend well, as you've rightly said, he's got a front two who will score against anyone. And we've already talked about the fantastic defensive record of Liverpool. Well, once or twice they've just been tested.
But pretty important for Newcastle, they keep the margin to 1 before half-time, you'd think. Shearer. Napier gets it away for Liverpool. Shearer trying to pick up his England mate Michael Owen. Now then, Luque has shown up pretty well so far. Strange one from Bowyer, but it went all the way back to Shay Given anyway. Good hold-up play by Peter Crouch. And then Morientes won it in the air. Handball, surely, by the Spaniard.
There's the referee not seeing that. And what he failed to see as well is a trailing arm that caught Steven Taylor. And that's a problem that he's had with his shoulder. He's in big trouble.
That was a big gamble. Again?
Yeah, that was a big gamble playing him today. Big gamble. And you can see on the pain on his face that he's in trouble again. And Morientes just comes across and just the shoulder straight away. Steven Taylor feels, and he knows that's a big disappointment for the youngster.
Oh, what a nightmare. What a nightmare.
Graham thinks highly of him, just pushing back in the side without a reserve team game under his belt. They've been doing so well, Newcastle. They've recovered, having gone a goal down. But as I said earlier, that was a big risk to take, putting him back in. And it looks as if it's popped out again, that right shoulder.
He did it playing for the England under-21 side originally. He's been out for the last 6 games. First game back, it's gone again. So Titus Bramble, who was dropped today to make way for Taylor's return, comes back to re-establish a central defensive partnership with Jean-Alain Boumsong. The Liverpool fans gave him a big reception.
Leaving the field, number 27, Steven Taylor. Coming on for Newcastle, number 19, Titus Bramble.
Doesn't have very happy memories of this ground either, Titus Bramble. He was relegated here with Ipswich after they'd lost 5-0 and sent off in the fixture last season. Something a bit better today, Bramble. A very un-Xabi Alonso-like pass.
Really found his range of passing so far, has he, Xabi Alonso? Only quite commanding figure at the heart of that Liverpool midfield, but hasn't really been on the ball that often. Certainly haven't seen him spray the type of deliveries to his teammates that we've tended to see during the course of this season. It's been very much left in the main to Steven Gerrard.
Towards Crouch, not even he can reach that, but Morientes might. And he finds Luis Garcia. The bounce wasn't kind to him. It's still Luis Garcia, brought down, edge of the box by Babayaro. Free kick in a dangerous position.
I just think, you know, you've got somebody at the height of Peter Crouch. It's almost the second ball you've got to look for. And I don't think Newcastle pick up the run of Morientes, and then once he tried to find Luis Garcia, they get another opportunity, Liverpool. I don't think that they've been alert enough at times, Newcastle, defending against the little flicks that Peter Crouch has brought to this Liverpool side.
Steven Gerrard scored one. He might fancy himself for another one here, and he's really been in the mood lately. His form has been quite electric. It is Gerrard. Oh, it's a great save again by Given. Still might be something, though. Away by Bramble on his own line.
Great save. Again, how many times have we said that so far in this opening half an hour? Big debt, I think, owed to Shay Given as far as Newcastle are concerned. He's had an awful lot to do. He sees this very, very late. That's the side that he's taking care of. And in the end, Titus Bramble does very well just to get the ball away to safety.
With almost his first touch. Another close thing, though. Given away characteristically by Gerrard, picked up by Bowyer. Ramage does well, finds Fye. And it's a cul-de-sac for Newcastle United, that one.
Been very dependent on his goalkeeper, hasn't he, Graham Souness, at the moment, but he knows that if they can get decent service into the front too, he's got a striking partnership there. They're all capable of getting goals, certainly unnerving defenders, but the back four of Liverpool haven't really been tested enough.
Luis Garcia, Crouch wanted it down the line, he was showing himself too, didn't get it. If you're just joining us, Liverpool a goal to the good, Steven Gerrard with a corker. It was on Boxing Day last year that Liverpool chalked up a 5-0 away win at West Bromwich Albion. It's not the cleverest ball by Herpia, but Alonso's got it back now. Now Carragher, offside against Luis Garcia. Don't seem to start with him that often these days in the Premiership, do they, Luis Garcia?
No, and I think that clearly Rafa Benitez has got a framework of a side now that's working extremely effectively, and there's a little bit of criticism directed his way at the beginning of the season because well, they were keeping clean sheets, they weren't doing an awful lot offensively, and I think there's just great expectations about this Liverpool Football Club to expect them to be challenging for honours. At the moment, they look as if they've got a formidable unit now, very solid at the back, a lot of creativity in midfield, and now they look at a real threat in the final third.
Fye to Luque, now Babayaro. Shearer can't keep it in. Not much of a look in so far for Shearer as he goes in search of that 200th goal for Newcastle United, or indeed for Michael Owen on his return to Anfield. Harry Kewell. Now Xavi Alonso, whose father, by the way, used to play with Diego Maradona during his time at Barcelona. There's a bit of football in the blood there. Here he is again now. Kewell has it. A lot of red shirts waiting for a cross, but Ramage cuts out the attempt to service them. Carragher. climbed well, got above Peter Crouch, which you'd have got very long odds against with Ladbrokes.
I don't think he would have got anywhere near that if Peter Crouch had decided to try and head the ball rather than bring it down on his chest. Once again, it's that long diagonal from left to right.
Liverpool looking composed at the back. Now then, Gerrard. Morientes to aim at, and Garcia.
He does so well, doesn't he, Steven Gerrard, to pick out Luis Garcia. He hasn't got an awful lot to hit. Good play on that Liverpool left-hand side that frees Steven Gerrard. And this is the ability of Gerrard to know that he can pick out a red shirt. And I just think Luis Garcia, a little bit more composure, has enough time just to bring that ball under control and then a strike on goal. Once again, it's another opportunity that goes begging. And Liverpool have had more than enough in this opening 35 minutes or so to have really put this game beyond all doubt. But Newcastle's still in it at 1-0.
Ramage down the line towards Risa. Liverpool might feel that they could have put this thing to bed already. Crouch. Flicked on nicely towards Kuhl, who saw Luis Garcia making a run in behind. Couldn't quite find him. Good scrapping by Xabi Alonso. Now Finnan. Luis Garcia, it was aimed towards Crouch, but wasn't quite going to find him.
Ambitious.
13 goals, didn't he, last season, Luis Garcia?
Yeah, it's a bit ambitious, wasn't it? But a little bit of criticism at times for being over-elaborate when he's in possession. Been difficult, isn't it, for Michael Owen and Alan Shearer? Very, very little to feed off. I guess he might have expected that, though, on his return to Anfield. Newcastle's form has been decent when he has been in the side. Certainly got a lot of points while he's played.
They've only lost against Wigan in the Premiership when Michael Owen has been in action. And even that day, they probably should have got a draw, because it looked like Shearer's header was well over the line. Didn't count, of course.
I dread to think what the score might have been, but that fella hadn't been in such great form.
Finnan impeded by Luca over there. Crouch is the target, brings it down on his chest. Flicks it on towards Morientes, who's looking a lot brighter and more confident in the red of Liverpool in recent times. And if they get him at his best, that really would make quite a big difference, you'd feel. This little bout of passing to work the ball into space. Gerrard. How many passes is this so far? Kuhl. They've worked it from back to front. The cross was less impressive.
A little bit of sloppy play, really, from Harry Kuhl, because the way that Liverpool opened up Newcastle again was absolutely superb. There's a real flow to their game at the moment, Liverpool. And that man seems to be at the heart of everything, doesn't he? Steven Gerrard, the skipper, leading by example once more.
Kuhl with the corner kick. Herpia with the header. Comfortable enough for Shay Given in the end.
Never really got that sort of time and room, should he? Sami Hyypiä.
And Zogbia. Liverpool get the ball back, and there's a real confidence, almost swagger about some of their midfield passing. Terrific stuff. Risa. Kuhl. And Ramage match goes well, but Newcastle have been at full stretch here to keep the margin to 1 in this first half.
Once again, though, I think Harry Kewell has failed to produce when they needed him most. Again, working a lot of space for him just to have a touch and deliver into the danger area.
Can Liverpool grab a second before half-time? Risa. Having to get back into the right-back position to deny Harry Kewell, and that has been symbolic, really, of what we've seen so far. Let's go to our touchline reporter, Guy Havord.
Yes, news on Steven Taylor's injury. The shoulder did come out, Ian. It's come out, they put it back in, but he's in the medical room at the moment getting treatment, and the fear is that he'll be out for several more weeks, and it is a troublesome shoulder that's caused him problems before, and in the long term he may need an operation. It's another big injury blow for Graham Souness.
Thanks, Guy, and he's had a few, of course, Graham Souness to contend with. Now then, in Zogbia from range. Oh, and Reina, it dipped and it moved, it swung in the air, and he just about managed to keep it out.
They seem to make it harder than what it should have been, really, the goalkeeper. It's a decent strike, isn't it? Well, on Zogbia, we've seen that on a few occasions. I think anybody really expected the goalkeeper to spill it.
And of course, the goalkeepers will tell you that the balls travel very differently through the air these days.
Yeah, of course they will.
It did seem to dip on him at the last moment.
Isn't that what goalkeepers are supposed to do? Save them.
They've got good spin doctors, I think, Brian.
He's done very well, hasn't he, Pepe Reina? Playing behind a very good back four that's kept him quite redundant for the best part of this season in the league. We'll be quite happy that that remains until May.
Crouch again. He has been so good that Jerzy Dudek may be on his way out of Anfield just to get a game, maybe at Benfica, one of the clubs linked with him. He needs to play to keep himself as the Polish number 1. Towards Crouch again, well watched by Bramble, but it's only fallen here for Garcia. Morientes does well. Kewell. Crouch, and that's over the line. That was over the line to me. The referee's been knocked flying in the aftermath of that, and the goal will be given. The goal will be given. It's another line decision, but I had no doubt about that. Goal, Peter Crouch, 2-0 Liverpool.
I'll totally agree, totally agree. This is a fabulous header from Peter Crouch. I said on a few occasions I think that Harry Kewell has been wasteful as far as his delivery into the box, but that time he finds a good cross, and as well as Shay Given has played, I think that's a correct decision. And just have a look at where the assistant is. He gets very close to making the right decision, and in my book that is the right decision. All the ball is over the line.
There.
Now the referee's assistant can't see an awful lot of that, so in some respects he has to go with a little bit of guesswork, at the same time knowing where the arm and the hand of Shay Given is, and I think he gets that right. That's a terrific decision
by John Holbrook, the assistant on that far side, and I think those replays prove conclusively that that was in. The whole of the ball had crossed the whole of the line. Harry Kewell. But here's an interesting thing. Is there going to be another debate about a Peter Crouch goal? He got that other one, didn't he, with Mike Pullet? Because there's a header, it comes off the post, then bounces back against the goalkeeper and goes in, doesn't it?
Well, that's a terrific ball from Harry Kewell, and it's a great leap from Peter Crouch. And, well, are you going to take that off Peter Crouch? I'm certainly not, because I think that's a goal for Crouch.
So do I. Yeah, so do I.
I think it'll be a harsh decision. And I'm not sure how much of a touch that gets on Shay Given when it comes back off the post. The goalkeeper certainly gets a touch onto it towards the post, but that is over the line, and that is a great decision from the referee's assistant. You know, Newcastle have been harshly adjudged. You talked about already against Wigan when they had a goal chalked off. Well, I don't think they can have any gripes about that one.
Fifth goal of the season for Peter Crouch. He had to wait, of course, till his 19th game, famously, for the first. That one against Wigan, by the way, was credited to him, despite the doubts at the time that it might be a Mike Follett goal. Mike Follett, the Wigan goalkeeper, of course. Alonso, 2-0 to Liverpool. Onside here, Morientes. Kuehl, who hasn't scored yet this season. He was denied brilliantly by Given, this time nowhere near.
Well, I think it's just been such an emphatic performance from Liverpool. And in many respects, the big surprise is that Newcastle find themselves only 2 goals adrift. They really have been commanding, and if it hadn't been for that fella in your picture, that could quite easily have been Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. He's made 2 magnificent saves.
Owen, Bowyer's made a little run, but they can't really get much of a look in truth, so far. Newcastle United, who did make a lot of changes to a side that had been winning. Okay, it's 4 games in 8 days, and that has to be taken into account, but Liverpool here have really played with a song in their heart. And here's Crouch. This could be 3. It's Peter Crouch. Can he get a shot away? He couldn't. Garcia, who wanted it earlier.
Well, I can't understand why Luis Garcia is having a go at Peter Crouch, but have a look again at the defending, or lack of defending, from Boomsong, because Peter Crouch has just made a run and spun away towards the left-back position, and while Garcia might moan that he should have had the ball earlier, Peter Crouch has every right to really try and take this on, because he gets the ball under control. Maybe should he have slipped in there? He does in the end, but I think that's a poor finish. That's a poor finish, and Liverpool should have gone ahead really by 3, 4, 5 possibly in this first half.
Well, we came here talking about Michael Owen and wondering how his return to Anfield would go, but he's hardly had a kick, frankly, in a first half in which Liverpool have really turned on the style. Steven Gerrard with a wonderful goal, and then a second goal. We're absolutely certain it was in by Peter Crouch. I think the replays prove it, and at half-time Liverpool's great run continues. They lead Newcastle 2-0 here. Again, of course, like most clubs in a couple of days' time, they'll be at home to Charlton. They wanted him fit and fresh for that one, so he wasn't on for the 90 minutes today, but he comes on here now to see if he can make some kind of difference and give Newcastle some kind of attacking threat down the right-hand side. And Zogbia, who's only just come back from injury, going off. 2-0 to Liverpool at half-time. Boxing Day. Liverpool love Boxing Days. They've only lost once on the last 16 festive games. Can't offer you anything quite like 1963 Boxing Day today, when there were 66 goals in the top flight, including Fulham 10, Ipswich 1, West Ham 2, Blackburn 8, and Burnley 6, Manchester United 1.
Ah, the good old days.
When the players might just have been nursing the odd hangover, possibly, just possibly, as Newcastle get us underway at the start of the second half. Christmas is cancelled, isn't it, for most footballers, usually, Brian?
Well, that's very good. I mean, Newcastle would have trained yesterday and then travelled down to the northwest last night to prepare for this game. It's a very difficult preparation. It's no real surprise in some respects. He's decided to move Bowyer in towards that central midfield area. Good tenacity, he'll look to close people down, and that's certainly something that Newcastle, I think, missed in that first 45 minutes.
On as a substitute for Steven Taylor. Taylor has dislocated his shoulder again and will be out for several more weeks. And commiserations to him, luckless. This is Boomsong. Debate at half-time about that second Liverpool goal. Yes, it was definitely over the line, and I'm with George Graham and Brian Marwood. That's Peter Crouch's goal. I know the Press Association have been giving it as an own goal, but I don't think so. Not if there's any justice, surely.
Certainly creating a lot of debate up and down the country about the goals that he scored at the moment. So you have to say that Shay Given, the fact that he did concede 2 goals, quite miraculous that some of the saves that he did make that kept his side in it for long periods in that first 45 minutes.
This is Luque. Solano was deep on that right-hand side, but Luque's ball never looked like finding him. Champions League experience behind him, Luque, in his time with Deportivo. Now then, Shearer. You wonder whether that might set up for a Shearer volley. It didn't, as it turned out. This is his upper body strength, though. Herpia was in on the scene. Alan Shearer, who's never won at Anfield in 13 attempts. This might be his last chance. Solano, it stayed in for him too. Newcastle could just grab one, it might change the mood.
And that's why I think this opening 10 minutes of the second half, Ian, is vitally important to both sides. If Liverpool can play with the same sort of pace and tempo that they created for themselves in the first 45 minutes, they could go on and make it very, very comfortable. But if Newcastle can get something, it will give them some belief and something to really try and build on in this second period.
There's Boom Song. As was saying the other day, people should take account that he's had a lot of serious illness in the family, which might be affecting him, so not easy, and we hope that all clears up for him. Finnan. Some getting in ahead of Peter Crouch these days, but Crouch just showing again today what a handful he is.
Sheer presence is always going to be a handful for the opposition. But once he develops maybe more strength and power and can get the confidence of playing at this level, and there's probably a lot more to be offered from Peter Crouch.
There were times in that first half when Liverpool really did turn on the style. They're playing with a good degree of confidence at the moment. But even a win today, I mean, they are still 15 points adrift of Chelsea. Steve Finnan with the header on towards Luis Garcia. Now Alonso spotted that Kuehl was making a run into that space on the far side. Tremendous work again by Peter Ramage, who by the way comes from Ashington, the same mining community that produced the Charlton brothers and wore Jackie Milburn himself. Gerrard with this Liverpool corner. Morientes with the header off the line. Herpia into the side netting. They want a handball here. Liverpool, they're claiming a penalty. Solano saying no.
Well, a big decision by the referee. Was this a handball? Great header, great delivery from Steven Gerrard. Solano doing exactly what he should do on the post, but that is a handball for me. That's a big miss from the referee. Big miss. And saying that, they should have had a corner as well. So both decisions going against Liverpool. Rafa Benitez just having a word with the referee. He's missed that, but Solano certainly leant in, didn't he, with his left arm, rather than going at that with his chest. He elected to go at it with his arm, always running the risk of the referee would maybe give a penalty against him. Interesting to have a look again at the position that the referee Mark Halsey has of the header from Morientes.
The only question, I suppose, is was it ball to hand? Was there intent, do you think?
I think so, because the ball has travelled a long way from the head of Morientes towards the post where Solano was.
Here's Morientes. Now got Gerrard to Kuehl. And seconds behind. But now, should this have been a penalty kick? It looks suspiciously like it. Judge for yourself.
It's game, set, match if this goes in or they score from the penalty. It's a clear handball. You're not going to get any more clear than that. But, again, reserve judgment until you can see the angle that the referee has. You have a look at Mark Halsey here. He's looking right at it. Does he see that? Is Peter crouching his way? Possibly so, and that might have just saved Newcastle United.
Solano only, what was it, about 5 minutes after coming on. Did look like a penalty, didn't it? Rule 12 does say there does have to be intent. It did look like he moved his arm to the ball. Gerrard in behind Kuehl. Boomsong is the last man and patches up the damage.
The question mark, and I've got a lot of sympathy for players that if the ball is, you know, cannoned off them from maybe a yard away, I can understand, you know, the whole theory of whether it's intent or not, but something like that when it's travelled from round about the penalty spot towards the post, Solana knows what he's doing. He's took a big risk in the way that he's trying to control the ball. He's very fortunate. There you go, look. He even got a mark on his sleeve to prove it.
Could have been a red card as well. And he's already been sent off once this season for Aston Villa as well. Del Solano. Can Newcastle cash in on that little break their way? Got a lot of work to do, that's for certain. Header was a strange one. Luque trying to break in behind it. Carragher had read it all. He's now played over 70 games in a row in the Premiership in that defence.
He's got a long way to go to equal Frank Lampard's record, though.
Luque's corner. Boomsong was trying to attack it. Still Newcastle, though. Albert Luque again. Driven in Shearer, looking for that number 200. It was blocked.
That's an important block, because I think that this is heading towards the bottom corner. I'm not sure whether Pepe Reina would have got anywhere near this. A decent ball in from Luque, and as this ball comes back to Alan Shearer, hits his teammate Jean-Alain Boumsong, and I think that's heading towards the bottom corner, and that's a lifeline. If that doesn't hit Boumsong and it goes in the back of the net, also would have been a pretty significant moment, wouldn't it?
It would have been, and he would have done it 10 games quicker than Jackie Milburn did back in the 1950s. Not this time. Not yet, anyway. This is Risa. Herpia going long, and Morientes. To Crouch off the outside of the boot, trying to pick up Kuehl's run again.
He's very involved, isn't he, Peter Crouch, in the build-up play, such as his confidence at the moment. He's getting goals, but he's also becoming an integral part of how Liverpool attack.
Much more than the old-fashioned, cliched lamppost type centre-forward. You're looking for the long crossfield ball. Morientes, was he fouled there by Babayaro? Yes, he was, says Mark Halsey, the referee. Liverpool sitting pretty and looking for more. Gerrard's free kick. Luis Garcia couldn't quite reach it. He was free in front of goal as well.
Oh, that's a big miss, but I have to say again, I mean, you always feel as if you're picking out some of the deficiencies that Newcastle have defensively, but there's another one. Because how does Luis Garcia get that sort of time and room right on the penalty spot is beyond belief. you know, at this level, you really, well, at any level, you need to defend far better than what Newcastle show at times. I'm thinking Graham must be pulling his hair out at times when he sees his side defending. I just wonder whether if he has any money in January where they'll look to bring in players to supplement his defence, and he's going to look as if he's going to be without Steven Taylor for quite some time now. So there's an option that he's not going to have at centre-back, and Freddie Shepherd has certainly backed the managers over the years to the tune of an awful lot of money.
Now then, Lee Bowyer. Can he give the 3,000 travelling Newcastle fans who've travelled down here on Boxing Day anything to shout about? When you see them there, it brings back memories of those great games, doesn't it, in the 1990s, so 96 and 97, those 2 4-3s and those sorrowful scenes among the Newcastle fans at the end when they were robbed in the last minute. Well, they would see it as robbed anyway of those matches.
Fair to them, Ian. I mean, they travel in great numbers all over the country, showing great support, and that's the one thing that will frustrate a lot of people connected with the club, is that such great search for success on Tyneside. Fantastic crowds, averaging over 50,000 for every home game. And they are absolutely desperate for some silverware.
Ramage. Here. Took a mid-air knock from Babayaro, but Morientes has it here, and he might get Gerrard in behind. Bowyer didn't entirely cut it out, but Shay Given will.
Well, he's the only one that really anticipated the danger. Shay Given, very, very alert there. Harry Kewell was certainly back on his heels as that ball may well have found him.
This is the cultured Xabi Alonso. Look at that from Kewell. Alonso again. Just falling to Morientes, and Given is anxious to grab it. Certainly doesn't deserve to have an own goal counted against him today, does he, Shay Given, the way he's played?
He's been absolutely outstanding. I mean, we need to move heaven and earth really to keep Shay Given, Newcastle United.
Solano to Shearer, promising for Newcastle, into the danger area, but just too far ahead of Owen.
Well, it's a decent chance for me, this. Alan Shearer does everything right, the run, and then he plays it towards that far post. He's hoping that Michael Owen might just anticipate where he's going to play that. He hasn't got too many options available to him, Alan Shearer. But they've been defending in such great numbers. It's very difficult for Newcastle to get more than 1 or 2 players in the box when they are attacking.
Shearer has scored a couple of times in the last 3 matches as well. He's been reinvigorated a little by that hernia operation, giving him another half yard of pace, according to the Newcastle management team. Alonso, lovely ball from Luis Garcia. That was sumptuous. Finnan into the danger area, well played by Titus Bramble.
George highlighted with the goal that we scored in the first half. You know, you play at 1 and 2 touch, it's very difficult to defend against. And that's exactly what we saw there. It was an exquisite ball from Garcia that allowed Finnan to play that first time.
Alonso. Given got something on that, and it almost produced a moment of danger, and they've had to concede the corner here, Newcastle.
It's a fantastic football at times, haven't they, Liverpool? Newcastle have found it very difficult to contend with it.
Kewell. Miscue, really. Luke's header only falls to Xabi Alonso. Liverpool camped out at the moment, and that wasn't quite what he meant. Smashing signing for them, though, hasn't he?
Oh, I think he brings a lot to that midfield area. There's a lot of quality on the ball. I think it certainly allows Steven Gerrard to get himself forward into more advanced positions rather than being the holding midfield player. He's a key person to this Liverpool side, Xabi Alonso. I just like the way they're shaping up. I think they look very solid and strong and well disciplined at the back. I think in midfield everybody seems to know the roles within their side, and now they seem to have a decent combination up front that's going to get them goals.
Luque trying to sell Stephen in a dubby. Carragher is unimpressed with himself. An hour gone, and Liverpool yet again with a clean sheet to their names so far anyway. Morientes is down with Bowyer, no problem. Luque to take it. Gerrard made a run and was hoping a delivery would be made to time it. He's gone towards the back post now. That's charged down though by Morientes.
Morientes has gone for the old trick of just pointing to his face. He sort of lifts his arm, clearly on ball, but have a look at the reaction, whether we see it or not. He just points straight to his face.
Goes over Shearer to Solano. Herpia hasn't cut it out. Owens on the prowl in there, but his old mate Jamie Carragher was quickly there to snap it out. Those two will have played against each other in 1,000 training ground matches.
Big friends as well. Carragher and Owen know each other inside out.
Luque. Good looking cross. Rainer's punch. Only to Bowyer. Kuehl tracking back, and then Herpia, no nonsense. Newcastle doing their best to try to ask a few questions here and get the goal which might just swing things a little. Going for Solano. Now Bowyer. Eventually does emerge with the ball and finds Celestine Babayaro. Now it's Bowyer looking more happy now that he's been tucked inside. And diving in there with a challenge on Xabi Alonso, and then Carragher getting involved as well. He might be in trouble too. Gerrard too has a go at Lee Bowyer. It's all kicking off here, and what is Mark Halsey going to do about all of that?
I think the problem, Lee Bowyer, and the reasons why he gets involved is he was incensed. He thought that Alonso went over the top in the initial challenge with Babayaro, and then once he get involved, Lee Bowyer, then it's just a free-for-all with everybody. And I think Alonso maybe just trying to protect himself, maybe going at that, not the best angle against Celestine Babayaro. But we've seen over the years, Lee Bowyer loves to get involved in situations like this, and he can really lose it at moments when you're looking for a cool head. And the referee's had enough time now to consult with
Carragher and Shearer continuing the debate as well as we speak. Now he's talking to the official on this side, Graham Atkins, about all of this. Mark Halsey, what did you see? I think it's the question.
Well, it depends on how he determines the challenge from Lee Bowyer. That's a straight red.
Red card. Red card, Lee Bowyer.
Straight red. Straight red. Now, what's he going to do in respect of the reaction on Lee Bowyer? Because arms are raised.
Carragher might be in a bit of trouble as well here. Because in the aftermath of all that, Bowyer has got a red card. That much we know so far.
He's still protesting his innocence there, Lee Bowyer. He's going to just get a yellow.
Yellow for Crouch in all of that.
There's some ironic claps here from the Newcastle bench. But have a look at where Alonso goes with Babayaro there. Now, did you deem that in a reckless manner? Certainly then the follow-up for Lee Bowyer. But then there's a number of things going on there. Was the contact between Steven Gerrard's head and Lee Bowyer's head? There's a number of things there that the referee loses track of, and that was the reason why Lee Bowyer gets incensed in respect of what Alonso did. And I tell you what, Peter Crouch could quite easily have been sent off. And then, as I say, it just becomes a free-for-all. Everybody then getting involved.
Replacing number 7, Harry Kewell.
Kewell, meanwhile, is coming off in the latest development here. And there were a few episodes, but Lee Bowyer, who was on the verge, remember, a few years ago of signing for Liverpool for £9.5 million, and they suddenly pulled out of the deal when Gerard Houllier was in charge. He's at Anfield today, and he's been sent off. And now Alan Shearer is getting a talking to from Mark Halsey. Those two were involved in a little contretemps earlier in the season at Grimsby, when Shearer felt that Grimsby's Justin Whittle should have got a red card for elbowing him in the face, and escaped, perhaps a little luckily. But there it is, confirmed for you. Bowyer is off.
Clearly Mark Halsey deems it as a reckless challenge, but I do think that reputations about players sometimes go before them, and I think that when the referees look that it's Lee Bowyer making that challenge, I think that straight away he's got a red card in his mind.
Not too much seasonal cheer about that exchange. Reese's challenge on Ramage, and if it wasn't hard enough for Newcastle, now it looks mountainous.
It's huge, and I think that that's a challenge that incensed Lee Bowyer. You can see one or two players. Now, has he gone there recklessly? Yeah, I think there is an element of recklessness about that challenge. But maybe Newcastle might point to the initial challenge from Alonso and Babayaro to say that, well, he might have gone unpunished. We have an unusual sight now of Alan Shearer playing in midfield. Michael Owen up top on his own, just to try and supplement that midfield area. And the fact that Newcastle don't get rolled over now, that's a big moment. Well, they weren't looking entirely convincing about getting back into this game. It was always going to be hard enough with 11 players on the field, but now, having one sent off, massive hill to climb now for Newcastle United.
Terry McDermott there with Graham Souness. Of course, another back on his old stamping ground today. The Morientes getting behind it. Bramwell on the stretch, only as far as Luis Garcia. Tongol has come out to the right-hand side. And Djibril Cissé is being prepared for action as well. Now Gerrard. Morientes. Cut back. Here's Crouch. Gerrard. Now Xabi Alonso. And it took a deflection. Corner.
Once again, great football, wasn't it? Neat interchange. A lot of passes. Good movement. And again, Newcastle finding it difficult.
Liverpool corner to Steve Finnan. Xabi Alonso, oh, it was a difficult one for Given. It bounced right in front of him, but he watched it very, very carefully like a hawk.
It's a decent save, but just have a look at the amount of time Alonso gets. One touch to control. No one closes him down. It's a decent strike.
Looked like the in-swing from Xabi Alonso. Great noise around Anfield, the Liverpool fans sensing that their side are on the way to an 8th consecutive win in the Premiership. But to be honest with you, there's no sign of Chelsea stopping. Chelsea very definitely the Christmas #1 again this year.
Ironically, Liverpool are one of the few sides that seem to have performed very well against Chelsea as well over the last 12 months or so.
Score here this season was 4, mind you, but you're right, Liverpool have certainly in the Champions League have more than held their own, haven't they? against Chelsea. Boomsong. Newcastle will hope for a better return from their home game against Charlton Athletic on Wednesday night, which they might have seen from the beginning as a bit more winnable.
In many respects, I think managers are looking at the context of the 4 games rather than just one-offs, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why Graham Steele has picked the side that he has done this afternoon.
Peter Crouch comes off. Another debate about whether the goal should be credited to him. We think it should. The Press Association don't. They've given it as an own goal to Shay Given. Another one for the dubious goals panel. Well, maybe. And Djibril Cissé comes on. And here's the Newcastle free kick. Boomsong causing a bit of confusion in there, but Gerrard was back to get it away. Cissé's touch eventually found its way to Florent Cinema Pongo. Shearer operating as a central midfield man, strangely. It'd be fun if he scored his 200th goal for Newcastle from that position, wouldn't it? Cinema Pongo down.
A bit of a tough tackling central midfield player as well, by the looks of it. Working hard, Alan Shearer, just to make sure that his side don't concede any more goals. Certainly a robust challenge, wasn't it? To be fair, Cinema, but goal makes the most of it. Two decent dead ball specialists here, John Arisa and Steven Gerrard.
It's Gerrard. Boomsong not really away. It's fallen for Morientes here on the far side. Gerrard. Cinema Pongo. Good so far from him. Now back to Finnan. Fabiaro for the corner here. Steve Finnan showing those skills he had earlier on in his career when he was a right winger for Sam Allardyce at Notts County and for Barry Fry at Birmingham.
Come a long way since then. He's carved out a very good career for himself. Steve Finnan seems to be very much the first choice right back here at Liverpool. Don't forget that the manager brought Osimhen in, but he hasn't really.
Cissé here. Great work by Bramble, really was.
Well, it was important. He had to follow the run of Cissé. It's a great ball, hit with a lot of pace, but look at the first touch here from Cissé. Absolutely instant control. Exactly where he's looking to bring the ball down into his path, onto his favoured right foot. And Bramble certainly stuck at it. It was important defending.
Bramble certainly playing for his place.
It's been fairly emphatic, hasn't it, for Liverpool? Just a surprise for me is that the scoreline only shows 2 goals in their favour. They've played some outstanding football here in every area of the field. I think defensively they've looked as secure as they have done all season. I think in midfield they've been very commanding. And up front, I think the partnership of Morientes and Crouch has been very effective.
Risa, long crossfield ball, gets in behind Fabiaro, but Cinema Pongo has a bit of work to do. It's the young Frenchman now. Behind off Ligue for a corner kick to Liverpool, who 2-0 up, do look something in the comfort zone here, really. Clean sheets as well on this run. They have been averaging 2 goals a game as well. So they're getting it right at both ends. Here's Gerrard. Shearer getting it away. Cinema It's become a damage limitation exercise, you feel, for Newcastle. Down to 10 men. Herpia. Gerrard. And won't be able to get that.
They just seem to be in cruise control, don't they, Liverpool?
Coming up on Sky Sports over the festive period, our next game for you. Sky Sports won 5:15 today, Aston Villa against Everton. And then the Merseyside derby Wednesday night from 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. That's Liverpool's next match, of course. Not even the fixture computer at Christmas could fit in another one between this and that one, because all the managers are moaning, aren't they? Well, most of them anyway. Not Stuart Pearce at Manchester City.
They might be moaning after today.
Yeah, might be. Of course, I mean, the other argument is the players are paid lots and lots of money. The fans want to see games over the festive period, and they should be first.
I'll tell you where the big argument is for me is that squads are a lot better these days than they were, 15, 20 years ago, when you did have to play this number of games. And I think that maybe clubs have been spoiled over the last few years because the fixtures have been quite kind for many clubs.
Luis Garcia looking to add to the entertainment here. Morientes cuts it back. It bounces off Boomsong, and in the end Given's able to pick it up all right. Now the play on its journey from Celestine Babayaro. Hosami is going to come on here.
Third and final Liverpool substitution. Number 17, Kasami, replacing
Steve
number
Finnan.
3, Steve Finnan.
Just a chance to give his legs a bit of a break before the Merseyside derby, and Hosami adds to the large Spanish contingent out there.
I said earlier, for me, he's not really proved himself so far as a Liverpool player, Hosami. On a number of occasions when he has played at right back, that he has made a lot of mistakes. It's actually cost them goals, and I think Finnan is much more consistent.
Here is Hosami, right on cue. Falls nicely for Steven Gerrard. Now it's Cisse. Morientes is in the middle, making a run to the near post. Cisse's ball in towards that area, but easy enough for Given. By the way, if Liverpool do make this 8 wins in a row in the league, it'll be their best run for 15 years since Kenny Dalglish was the manager. Xabi Alonso in behind for Cisse. Was very important. Boomsong got a boot to that, otherwise Cisse was in.
You're going to have to be very careful, I think, as far as Newcastle are concerned. If you're going to leave this sort of space for Cisse to run into, he really does have electrifying pace. Maybe a little bit more on that ball from Alonso would have seen Cisse bearing down on goal.
Only 2 stories that he might be going out on loan in January. Again, we await developments with interest. The bounce is interesting here, and Cinema upon goal, it just wouldn't bounce for him.
That's when you needed Peter Crouch, really, didn't he?
Carragher with the header. Matter of pride, you feel now, for those Liverpool defenders, that they shut the opposition out every time. Boomsong to Solano.
It's very, very difficult for Newcastle. I mean, we knew that they had a big task ahead of them, just coming here against a side that have been in outstanding form.
In towards Morientes here. Looking much more like his old self of late, Fernando Morientes. Luque. And it did go out of play. There have been a few talking points yet again today. That second Liverpool goal, was it over the line? We definitely thought so, and we believe we proved so. And congratulations again to the official John Holbrook, who called that and called it right. the sending off, of course, of Lee Bowyer. Boomsong. Newcastle up in 10th place at the moment at the start of play here. Anyway, today they have climbed up from 19th since Michael Owen joined them. But today, to be honest with you, they haven't had much of a look in. And here's Gerrard. Lovely ball. Cisse. Great save again. Shay Given. At times, he looks unbeatable.
It'll be interesting to think if Shay Given was in goal for Newcastle, what the scoreline would have been here this afternoon. He really has been the difference between Newcastle United getting a real hammering and the fact that it's only 2-0, because he's made, well, 2 world-class saves.
It's not the first time he's done it.
No, it isn't.
By a long chalk.
No, I mean, I think Newcastle were just guilty of overplaying in the wrong areas here, and Liverpool spring very quickly. Decent first touch from Cisse, great strike, heading towards the top corner. But you're right, Shay Given has been absolutely magnificent for Newcastle United. What a great signing he's proved to be.
Long time ago as well, 1997 it was. Only £1.5 million he cost from Blackburn.
Well, the difficulty is that Newcastle now being outnumbered. I think that they can't wait now for that final whistle from the referee. Just get on with the next game now. You prepare for Charlton at home on the 28th.
This is Risa. Liverpool in fine fettle going into the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park on Wednesday night. And you can catch on Sky Sports 2, remember. Don't miss that. Passing's been outstanding at times today. Luis Garcia looking for the reverse ball for Cisse. You could see the idea.
It's been outstanding, but I'm not convinced enough that there's been enough Newcastle players really working hard to close down those Liverpool players when they've been in possession. And far too many times they've just been allowed that type of room that Steven Gerrard's been getting now in midfield, and because of that the damage has been created.
Cinema Pongo. Alonso to Garcia, nearly found Morientes there in a Spanish 1-2. After so many years of frustration, there have been a few trophies along the way during that period. Liverpool are starting to look as if they really could be a major force. Boomsong. Ramage wanted it out wide on the right-hand side. He's in acres of space. Still wants it, and still doesn't get it. Now he does. There isn't the space anymore. Fye. Owen. It's been a desperately disappointing return, hasn't it, for Michael Owen? He just hasn't had any service.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. And while Newcastle can make another change, I think really surprised Luke Gate, the player that's going to make way for Sean Amiobi. He hasn't had an awful lot of football, so those fitness levels won't be as high as he would like.
Amiobi is on. He's been in the starting lineup lately, playing wide on the left. Rested today, maybe back, possibly anyway against Charlton on Wednesday night. We'll see. Here's Shearer. Only that one chance really to equal the Jackie Milburn record today. And it was blocked by his own player Boomsong, if I remember correctly. Ramage with the cross. Luis Garcia, the brakes on here. Here's Morientes. Nicely done for Gerrard. It's Steven Gerrard who was looking to bend one for the top corner, but not this time.
Again, very good break, wasn't it, from Liverpool, from back to front very quickly. A real feature. Morientes does very well here. Although saying that, I have to say Boumsong allows him to come inside too easily. But again, just have a look at the room that Steven Gerrard has, just to line this strike up, aiming towards the top corner. Doesn't quite get it right, which is unusual for him. Normally works the goalkeeper from that distance.
Bramble. Ramage trying to raid down that side with Solano. And in towards Rayner, who is now about 3 minutes away from equaling a Liverpool club record for a goalkeeper of 8 league clean sheets in a row, set by Elisha Scott 83 seasons ago. Gerrard, meanwhile, at the other end, off the outside of the boot, and it was probably a bit wider than it actually looked from this angle.
Oh, he's shaking his head, and he'll be very disappointed not to hit the target again. He just makes a run forward. No one really has the desire to pick up the Liverpool skipper. That's a decent first touch, and it sets him up nicely for the volley. And again, huge surprise that he doesn't hit the target.
Owen. Cinema Pongo. Michael Owen has seen today how far Liverpool have come without him. No reflection on Owen himself, of course, that, but they have made giant strides, including winning the Champions League, of course. Shearer out wide, Solano onside here. He was waiting in the middle too. Ramage worked hard in that right back role today. Xabi Alonso. Cisse, lovely ball from Alonso, and well, what this time by Bramble again.
Again, there's an awful lot of space for Cisse to run into. Likes to drift into wide positions and then hoping that the likes of Alonso or Steven Gerrard can thread clever little balls through in behind defences for him to run onto. Considering he's been out of favour, he's still has a decent goal scoring record, Cisse, in this Liverpool team.
Absolutely, yeah. 11 goals so far this season for Gibril Cisse. But only 3 of them in the Premiership. Boumsong here. Well, any hopes of a Newcastle revival here, and they did look remote, were snuffed out with Lee Bowyer's sending off. Risa for Liverpool, whose control of this, to be honest with you, has been just about total. Newcastle will hope for better. Home to Charlton and then away to Spurs on New Year's Eve, and then Middlesbrough at home on the 2nd. Garcia's peach of a pass inside for Gerrard. Morientes had come near post but didn't get it.
There's one thing when you've got a lot of games in a short space of time, Ian, that this hasn't really been that taxing from a physical point of view for these Liverpool players. I think Newcastle will feel it more because physically they've had to work hard to try and get close to the ball. Mentally, of course, they've conceded 2 goals and they've lost a football match. So that might feature in their upcoming games. So as far as Liverpool are concerned, it only builds further confidence and belief.
We have the Merseyside derby, followed by West Bromwich Albion at home and Bolton away over the holiday period. Cinema Pongo in towards Luis Garcia, and that really is an outrageous dive. Frankly, we can do without that.
I just wonder whether the referee will come back and give Luis Garcia a yellow card for that. Right in saying, Ian, I mean, that is the most blatant dive you're ever going to see.
Yeah, that's terrible. Just terrible. Here's Xabi Alonso. Ball still in play though. Here's Cinema Pongo. We wait to see whether Mark Halsey does do something about that. Here's Luis Garcia again. It is a more acceptable side of his talent, Luis Garcia, and it's a free kick. He's not going to get yellow carded for that. Do a character assassination job on the player, but that was awful, wasn't it? It's just an attempt to con the referee. Here is Cinema Pongo. Morientes!
Should have scored. You'd expect him to score. Great heading ability. Morientes, he takes up a decent position, but again, there's some question marks about the Newcastle defending.
Not Michael Owen's day. No headlines, I think, of an Owen nature tomorrow morning.
I just think it's been very, very comfortable for this Liverpool side. I'm not convinced that there's enough Newcastle players have shown the necessary desire to really get in the face of one or two Liverpool players and make it difficult for them. I thought Liverpool started well, good pace, good tempo. There's one fella that always gives his all, Alan Shearer. Never level that criticism at him, but they're the demands and the levels of play that you really expect, and Steven Gerrard sets those. He sets a tone for a Liverpool performance, and everybody seems to be following these days.
For Liverpool, their best run for 15 years, going back to the Kenny Dalglish era. 8 successive wins in a row in the Premiership. Steven Gerrard with a beautiful finish early on, having been set up by Peter Crouch, and then Crouch himself, we're crediting anyway with the second goal there. There's some debate about whether it might be given as a Shay Given own goal. We came here today talking about Michael Owen, but we've left marvelling at the new Liverpool being forged in his absence. There's still 15 points adrift of Chelsea after today's developments, but Liverpool very, very comfortable. Newcastle, to be fair, had no chance of a comeback once Lee Bowyer was sent off in the second half. Their hero, no doubt about it, goalkeeper Shay Given, who was brilliant at times, but Liverpool, frankly, coasted it. Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 0.
Yeah, miserable homecoming for Michael Owen, but Steven Gerrard and his team are looking nigh on unstoppable at the moment. They've got those 2 games in hand on Chelsea. Who knows, if they can continue like this, they could have a lot to play for in the second half of the season. As for Graham Souness, with a couple of wins and then another setback, not to mention injuries, that appears to be the pattern of the Magpies season.